Let's move on to talk about free tools.
Yeah.
So I'm here with Neil talking about, again, neilpatel.com, a great suite of free tools. Neil, just in general, constantly giving great advice. And I've said this before, at Adthena, we're sort of trying to copy your playbook, kind of like we've got this massive amount of data, what's happening on Google Ads, what's happening on ChatGPT ads, trying to figure out how can we kind of give people sort of interesting stuff, at least, right? The whole goal is to get our brand in their heads, and someday they'll maybe come back and buy from us. You talked at the beginning about some of the things that you offer. We've got something on our website that's kind of an AIO tracker. So you can just go to Adthena AIO tracker, and you'll see how, of the universe of terms we follow, how often are we seeing AI overviews? Again, remember that the set of terms we follow are commercial. And then how often are we seeing ads within those AI overviews? That's one. Two, we've got market share reports. So you can see kind of for your industry, or you can actually type in a domain, and you can kind of see what's happening from very high level, in that area on Google Ads. And then we just launched something called AdBridge. I know your team is going to look into it. So this is a free tool that looks at you connect your Google Ads account. We ask you some questions about which campaigns or things do you care about the most. You press a button, and then we give you a file that you can then upload into ChatGPT. Try to save, hopefully a bunch of time. And it's interesting. We talked earlier about ChatGPT ads are not the same as Google ads. And so I think I'll make a prediction in the future, just going into your Google Ads campaigns and then deciding you can just copy and paste into ChatGPT probably won't work, but it does seem to be working, at least for now. We'll adapt AdBridge as things change. But maybe take a step back, maybe talk a little bit more about some of the things you're doing. But what was the philosophy? I know you've mentioned that there's venture-backed companies now that sometimes make this freemium or free stuff a little trickier, but maybe go back a little bit. What was the philosophy? How have things changed? You're still a big believer in it?
I'm still a big believer in it. What I found is in some categories, it is actually more expensive to advertise a product than it is to give it away for free. Software is one of those categories. And what I found is people spend so much to acquire a customer. I was like, if you just give away more for free, it creates a marketing flywheel, which is usually cheaper than spending an arm and a leg on ads. Now, if you're an enterprise software solution, it could be a little bit different and challenging, and the advertising can pan out much more. But if you're going after the mid-market or SMBs, freemium tends to grow faster, or not even just freemium, free, and then you sell them on something else. With your guys' company, did you guys ever raise money?
We did.
Okay.
It was a while ago, but yes, we did raise money.
So then it makes it easier to give away something for free. And the key with this model today is if you have venture capital or you have a runway, it makes life much more easy. When I did it, we didn't have venture capital. We didn't raise venture capital technically. It was more so I had enough savings to weather the storm and eat the costs. So I was able to just lose the money and be okay with it.
And if you're willing to share, if you were to launch something today, given that the environment is different, how would you go about doing it differently? Is it more kind of freemium or free trial?
No, I would do free stuff.
You still do free?
I still do free. I think it works today. But my focus would be different today because I don't think SaaS is the same as it is today as it was 10 years ago. Today, I would focus more on service as a software, which is what we're focusing on. It's like, how can you take services, because it's a much bigger market, and then use technology to automate, create efficiencies and better results for the companies paying you.
And got it. And give some of that away for free, or?
No, you just sell the services and you scale it faster.
So the tool is free, but if you want the services, that's where you're paying the money.
No, I would just create a service-based company and then in today's world and then use the tool internally to create efficiencies.
Got it. So not so quick to give it away for free, or maybe only a taste.
Or let me go back. In today's world, I would not try to create a software company.
Well,
I would use the software to make services more efficient.
So the key is the services company Right. You're
Correct.
Yeah.
People still need people. Tools are becoming commoditized. Data is still really valuable, right? What makes your company valuable, this is just my 2 cents, isn't the tools, it's the data you have.
Right.
There's a lot of tool players in this space. Whoever controls the data, the tools make better informed decisions based on that. If you have the technology, but you don't have the data, you can't make great informed decisions.
I couldn't have said that better myself. Yeah, no, I think what's interesting to see what's happened to players in the search space, right? Companies that offer services around Google or now ChatGPT. It's interesting, the established players, right, of those who are publicly traded, their valuations
have tanked.
But
it's also fear. Like recently, a lot of the software stocks tanked because ServiceNow released earnings and their earnings beat expectations, but the market didn't like it. Still, it took down the whole software category with it that day. I think ServiceNow at that day went down like 17%. I could be off on the percentage, but it took down pretty much every software stock, or close enough to every software stock with it that day. Then you saw a rebound the next day and a few days after that, right? But still, like it's if Claude starts or Anthropic releases some news that something happens, all the software stocks tank. Now, do I think it's overblown? This is not financial advice. This is just my 2 cents. Yes. Do I really see organizations like replacing their CRM because of Claude? Or why? Like a lot of these CRM solutions are so cheap, like $100 a month. It would cost you more money to use AI to do it and deal with the hosting and having a person manage it and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, it's overblown.
Yeah, no, and to go back to the data point, what I think, again, software, if there's not a data moat, right? I think it could be a little iffy. You're right.
Yes.
If you've got Salesforce,
if
you're a huge company, Salesforce integrated everywhere, you're not pulling that out.
It's not even that. Like, people are focusing on the wrong things. I met up with the company. I spoke at their event. I'm not going to name the company. They do $4 billion in revenue. All right, roughly. I think 20, 30 million in profit, dollars. About $4-ish billion in revenue. I'm giving you rough numbers here. The CEO is talking about ripping out all these software solutions, how they're going to use AI to build it. And if I was on the board, I would fire the CEO. He's a smart guy, but why would a CEO of a $4 billion company focus on saving $5, $10 million a year? To put it in perspective, I know that sounds like a lot of money, and it is, but when you're doing $4 billion revenue, it is not that much money. Instead of focusing on how do you go from $4 billion to $5 billion or $6 billion in revenue, and their growth isn't that great because they're publicly traded because you can see them. I'm not saying the CEO is doing a bad job. Technically, I'm saying he's focusing on the wrong thing, so I would either have him change it. If he doesn't want to change, I would replace. Yeah. I know that's harsh words, but it's reality. If you have a company generating revenue, and you can put it in perspective, if you're a small startup doing $1 million a year, why would you spend a lot of your resources leveraging AI to replace something that costs you $100 a month instead of figuring out how you can get to 10 million in revenue?
Right. No, it makes total sense. Somehow we are out of time. I can't thank you enough for being so generous with your time and walking people through this kind of great search shift and how you're thinking about it.
No, thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks.